Hey, welcome back, regulars, QWERTYverters, and newcomers to Qwertycast, where we talk about indie games, PC games, and everything in between. Today, we have Andre, say hi.
Hi.
Cam.
Hello.
And Steven.
Hiya. Oh, he's dead.
Steven?
Oh, yeah, no, I said hi, but my Discord
Steven?
was muted.
Steven's muted.
Dave's here too.
Hey, I'm gonna say hi twice.
Should we restart?
What's that up?
No, roll with it. Roll. This is amazing.
Yeah, he's here in spirit.
It's raw,
Steven's
it's live.
Steven's definitely here. And I'm Kenny. And we've been playing a lot of games. Steven, are you good?
I don't know, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yes, we can
I
hear
said
you now.
hi like 1,000 times.
Oh god.
It's gonna be a good day.
Once again.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been playing a lot of games recently, and we can't wait to talk about them soon, and so that maybe you, the listener, will be interested in checking them out. And we have some
Please.
indie news, but other than that, we chillin'.
Yay.
Hey guys.
Oh, there's a music cue.
Yeah. Yeah. This music is.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
right.
What do you think of when you hear this music?
Video
Besides-
games.
Besides the game that we played today, or I mean, because I think of Crawl personally.
When I think of the game you guys played today, I think of lag. Okay.
Today we played the game Crawl, which is a local multiplayer dungeon crawler where your friends control the monster, and you'll be able to watch that on our YouTube. You battle through dungeons, power up your hero. If a friend kills you, they take your place, and it's their turn to crawl. It's a race to gain enough XP and loot to take on the hulking final boss. Unfortunately, like Cam said, we had quite a bit of lag because we played via Parsec instead of locally. But
The good
other
news
than
is
that,
we're not reviewing Parsec, so.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
reviewing Parsec. Other than that, what did you guys think? How would you rate the game as a whole?
I would say as a whole, definitely like 8.5 squiggly gloop glops to collect out of 10.
This was your first time playing it, you said?
Yes, this was my first time really getting to play Crawl. I have seen it like for years,
First
but
time crawling.
my first time crawling as a beastie. I mean, I really liked it. I thought it was definitely fast paced, especially the parts where we froze and everything went very fast paced.
Did it live up to your expectations from like what you've had heard about it before?
Yeah, actually a little bit more. I didn't know anything about like the creatures evolutions and just kind of how much longer you could play the game. It kind of felt like the dungeon aspect of it plateaued really quickly, but like the monster aspect of it kept evolving, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I don't.
it's unfortunate that it was lagging so much for you because you have your iframes that are really important and your monsters that you're aiming. It like everyone becomes really strong, but as you saw, the rooms and the monsters become stronger, and like eventually everyone just gets killed super fast.
I think it would have been a flawless experience, and I think you would have felt more of the dungeon crawling aspect of it with like the upgrades and how those actually played into the gameplay without the lag. Because just having played that game against AI, it has like the upgrades are very significant, but with that it was very much like just the little blobs could basically kill most of us.
It definitely changed the game a little bit, but I mean, overall, the game itself is fantastic. It looks like it's gone through a lot of updates since its original version.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool to see, like, that they kept adding on to it. I think when I first had started playing it, there was only, like, 6 gods, and now it looked like there was over 10 of them.
Yeah, true.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love this game. Cam and I know played it in college. I probably played it with you at one point, Dave, in college, maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think that I had ever played that game until I moved out here, and I just turned it on one day because I have a massive backlog of games, and I was like, "What's this one?"
Sweet. Well, I'm glad you played with me today.
I think the only game that we played very frequently together was Batman.
I was thinking about that. Oh man.
The art, how would you guys describe the art style of Crawl? Like, what? I never know what's the difference between like 16-bit and like how would you describe that specific aesthetic?
I think Steven said it at one point, being kind of retro.
It's definitely trying to be of the retro quality, but it's a lot higher res than you're going to get like from like the original Mario and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the animation's really impressive.
Yeah,
that's only achieved from the higher pixel count.
Yeah, which is I think part of what makes it a hard game to do multiplayer, because I think there's a lot. I don't know personally. I'm just speculating, but I think it's because of all the pixel count and the really flashy graphics. It's a hard game to do multiplayer, at least on the dev standpoint, which is why it's only local.
I feel like in my experience with local multiplayers, when you all have to share the same screen, it gets chaotic really, really quickly if you have more than 2 people. Like every time I play Enter the Gungeon or Wizard of Legend with like just more than myself, it's really hard to keep track of anything happening.
Yeah, that definitely lends itself to the play style because, you know, the whole point being that you get overwhelmed and then somebody else takes over. That's kind of what they're trying to get you to feel while you're playing.
Yeah.
I definitely have a harder time keeping track of stuff. Yeah, like when, for example, we would just drop down all of our little floopy blobs, and then we also had monsters on top of that, and like items flying around the room, and like all of a sudden it went from, oh, there's 5 things on screen to, oh, there's like 30 things on screen. And that's where, I think that's really fun. It reminds me kind of Gauntlet, but if it was just one warrior and the rest of the people are trying to kill you all the time.
Yeah, I would rate this. I don't know. I think there is. I think you're right. I forget who said it, but I feel like there is something a little left to be desired. Like they updated a lot, but like I know the whole premise is that you're stuck in this one dungeon, but I think I don't know. I guess I'm not the biggest dungeon crawler fan, especially when like dungeons don't change a lot. I don't know. Does that make sense? Because I know.
Yeah, I mean, from a map standpoint, they definitely reuse a lot of assets. It seems like the majority of the time that they spend in the game was designing the different creatures' combat techniques and all the items that you can get. But then I agree with what you're saying. It looks like from like where you're playing, the location hasn't really been adjusted as much.
Which is honestly not that big of an issue. Like I would rate this like 9 booby traps out of 10.
Wow.
I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 6 out of 8 would be pretty good.
Yeah, 4.5 pentagrams out of 5.
5 pentagrams.
3 dead souls
That's
out of
good.
7. I don't know.
Wow, we're getting lower here.
1
Yeah.
death.
2 tossed chairs out of 3.
2
you go.
plucked
Oh.
cherry stems. That's
17 spikes out of
Combies.
19.
Oh god,
it.
that's a lot of spikes.
It is a game I recommend playing with friends there, and I do agree.
That's a must.
I do agree. It does get stale if you keep playing it for hours because of the looks, probably. The monster variation is where it comes from, and if you can't kill the PC, like the hero, I mean, you're not gonna get those monsters.
It looks like we didn't run into it in our playthrough, but it looks like one of the creatures they added in a later update was a giant Gaben. It's just a big fat guy in a blue polo.
He's a statue.
It's a what?
You could find him.
Okay, yeah, Gaben, Steam.
Our Overlord on Steam.
What?
Oh.
That's so good.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
hilarious.
That is hilarious.
But can you explain it for the people that might not know?
So imagine Peter Griffin, but like pixel art and a little bit more human looking, and you're good to go.
That's a good way to put it.
Based off of the person,
Gabe from the creator. Well, I guess he would be the founder of Steam.
Of Steam, yeah. Cool. But yeah, that was Crawl. You can check it out on our playthrough where we yell at each other and kill each other. And
where are we
betray each
probably
other.
posting that? YouTube? Or
Yes, YouTube. It'll be on YouTube.
nice.
Cool.
Wow, that was phenomenal music. I absolutely love that.
I'm sorry, I'm in tears
welcome
right now.
I know, are you like
That was
second
so
or third
good.
clock? Like, just keep going, dude. There's a ton of them, but you're part of it.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the third installment of the Indie Game Book Club. Andres introduced an amazing game last
Hey-o.
time around, and I would really, really like for him to lead the beginning of this conversation on reminding us what Akurra is about, and
Yes.
and more about it.
Yeah, when I BTS announced the music for this podcast and told Dave to take over, I totally meant to say,
dang it.
Andres, you should take over.
I think Cam is gonna have a lot to say about this game. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, just assuming I have a lot, huh?
Yeah.
I think this game was good. Your turn.
Oh my god, great.
snap.
Well, end of segment.
Damn, he stole our.
All right,
Yo.
time to pull up my Akurra thoughts notes.
I had fun playing this game. That's it.
Oh, nice. So this
All right,
game.
so the next segment is... Just kidding. Just kidding.
So Akurra, well, I'm saying it like that because it's two R's, so I'm just gonna roll the R. This
Spanish
game was
way.
developed by Jason Newman and Craig Culver, who made the music. They have a really nice bio on their game's website about growing up with different influences and how they're here now. And Akurra is inspired by games like Zelda, Star Tropics, and Chips Challenge. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of those.
Fuck yeah, Chips Challenge.
And also I
Holy
read
shit.
that it is a combination of Zelda and Sokoban, which I think is an old Japanese puzzle game. And if you Google Sokoban, Sokoban, it's essentially like the same game. You just push blocks into specific squares in order to complete puzzles, but Akurra has done a lot more with the puzzle aspect of it.
Yeah, the demo is free on Steam right now if you want to try it.
Demo's free on Steam, which is, of course, another reason why we did this game, because it's accessible to people right now. I believe I read that when it comes out, it should be probably about $10, and with the full game and everything. And the Kickstarter is going to be live on Tuesday, May 19th. So by the time this episode comes out, it will be live. So go check it out. Off the cuff, I honestly loved the art and the music and the color palette all equally. Jason and Craig did a really good job with like the thematic and cryptic vibe of the whole world. The explorative nature of the game and the beautiful combination of what feels like a Peruvian Middle Eastern fusion of music really got me excited to come back and play it more. I actually, when I was typing out my notes for this, I had turned on the game to like look at more of the elements and do a review, but I ended up just listening to the music for like 10 minutes on loop. Basically, none of the game holds your hand. There's answers to some puzzles that are on other islands, and nothing's really going to tell you that either. And since you only have one move, which is to push, the game's interactive environment gives you a lot of different puzzle-solving tools. So yeah, that was kind of broad strokes of what I really loved about the game. I finished the demo, and I 100%ed it too. So I posted that to their Discord, because they have a 100% Gods channel. And I introduced myself too, so I'm probably gonna post this episode there when it's published.
Oh, nice.
So
That was really well said,
Right
Andres.
on.
thank you.
Yeah, that was very. Oh man, that was very elaborate. Is the word I was looking for.
In a good way?
You described. Yeah, you described it like.
Oh,
Really
nice.
well.
Yeah, well, it helps to have notes.
Yeah.
Or helps to have a script, I guess. Let me see if there's anything else I was gonna say. Well, first, let me just kick it over to you guys and tell me what you thought about it, because I think only Kenny and Dave were able to check it out. But
I did.
What did you think? Oh, nice. Well, all of you, what did you think?
Why don't you go?
Nose goes.
Okay, I'll start. So I got to check this out just earlier today, and I woke up early so that I could play it enough to have an experience with it. And were it not for Andres saving the day, I would have been very close to 100%ing it, but never have gotten there because I'm really bad at puzzles. But I like that this was really approachable because there's not a lot of buttons to press. It's an easy game to just give to somebody, like, without much explanation of what to do. Like, just tell them the controls and then go on it. There were a couple things that I didn't like. I didn't like the like going back one move button that much. One, because I accidentally pressed it a few times, and that was just annoying because I had to redo it. Not a huge deal. But two, there were sometimes when I was like, if I had gone back 2 moves, I would have been able to fix it. But with just the one move, I had to restart the entire level, which was not, or the entire screen, which was not a huge deal because the puzzles are fairly short, even though they're engaging. It's just like having to do that a few times is one of the things that personally frustrates me. That's why I'm bad at puzzles. I wish that it had a few extra features. The one thing is nice is that you can see how long it took you to 100% it, at least in the demo. But I would love to know like how many moves it took somebody, like how many like individual spaces you walked before completing it, because I feel like that's more of a indicator of like how quickly you did it rather than just time.
They actually have a speedrunners channel on their Discord as well.
Oh my gosh.
I figured
Yeah.
they did. Like for posting the time completed, I figured that must have been something that they had in mind.
Yeah, they actually have a lot of really nice channels. They have spoiler discussion, cross promotion, where I'm gonna post the episode, 100% gods, and I think I've actually noticed both of the devs pretty active on the whole Discord as well. So it's really nice. Bug reports, off topic, fan art. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
You know, it's really interesting, a speedrun of this game, just because it's very, from what, I mean, I didn't finish it, but from what I could tell, it's very not linear. So you could kind of you could do whatever puzzle you want at any point, to some extent, because you need to unlock some stuff in other puzzles in order to be able to do a puzzle like over,
Yeah, like
in a different
Yeah.
area.
spoiler alerts, those rolly golems.
Yeah, for example.
Yeah, you unlock those pretty quickly, but they definitely add a completely new layer to most of the maps that you had already been over.
Right.
I probably went through the same maps over and over again, and like you were saying, the more you progress, the more you understand about those existing maps. And some screens yield like 2 or 3 different secrets depending on how far you've gotten.
I liked actually, Andres, you pointed this out, along the lines of the secrets, that there's just subtle screen changes.
Yeah.
Like the was a really interesting way to, I guess, if you had known about it ahead of time, it would have been a really interesting way to know, oh, there's a secret in this area.
That is
rather
something
than-
I read off of the spoilers thing, so that is a spoiler.
Wait,
Technically.
That's fine.
Well, yeah, I don't know about it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's
Well, don't spoil it now.
and there's levels and they're secret.
Wow. Said I'm done.
So
I'm
no,
leaving.
I thought it was really cool to like that they had like these little subtle things that kind of help point you in the right direction. You just have to be really hyper aware of everything. There's other minor things too. That's just the one that really popped up.
Yeah, like the beaches, stuff like that.
Yeah, and just like being aware of where you can move and where you can't move, and then being aware of like what minor things change when you revisit an area. And I love games that take a smaller space and make it feel a lot larger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did love this game. It wasn't hand-holdy at all. And it was just pleasing to look at and pleasing to listen to and just fun to play. And like Andrea said, like anyone could just jump into this.
Yeah. What was it like your first level like? Because I just remember going in there and being like, I have no idea what this is about. And I like would push a block into a hole and I'm like, cool. And then I'd keep going and I'd die. And I'd start at the beginning of the level and I was just super confused on why I was there.
Mm. I really like those big doors in the beginning that you're just like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, it gives you a little objective to complete, obviously.
Exactly.
And that's like, how do I get there? And like, I didn't 100% it because I didn't even know the ending was what it was. I was just like, oh, cool. Who is this person? Let me follow you.
Oh, yeah. The secret lady.
The girl.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
Kenny.
Well, like you could continue after following that person, and you could go back. That's what I ended up doing. I think that the way that it drops you in is it reminds me very much of the original Super Mario Brothers, right? Like you're just given it, and you're like, you can't go left, you've got to go right, and like, this enemy killed me. Well, what can I do to like kill this enemy? And then you jump on its head, and it's like a very simple way of gameplay design where it's a tutorial without you realizing that it is.
That's
which is
so
really
well put.
So difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
Very few games can do that well.
Yeah.
And this one did.
That's a great point, actually.
Definitely like the original Zelda as well in that aspect.
Yeah.
And what they kind of tried to do with Breath of the Wild. It's just like, all right, here you are. You're going to figure it out because of your environment. And like, yeah, the environment's super interactive. So it just gives you stuff to want to touch. And by the end of it, when you're trying to 100% it, you're basically just going back through every map and pushing on every wall and every rock and just making sure that you didn't miss anything.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to say it. I give this 11 bells out of 10.
Ooh. I give it the demo, I definitely give 10 secret ladies out of 10.
Secret ladies.
Secret ladies. Secret lovers.
Ooh.
I'm gonna also go ahead and say that I'm gonna give it 8 glowing snake eyes out of 8.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
I say 4 out of 5 turtlebacks.
Ooh. What would bring it to the 5th turtleback?
It was just arbitrary. He didn't want them to get like too overconfident.
You don't get a big game developers.
So I take that one, huh? It's more like, so I'm very casual for puzzle games because I suck at them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like Knights of the Old Republic defeats me on their basic puzzles at times because that's not what that game's about. So this was like this is what that was, a puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did well, but I can't give every game a perfect score, Kenny.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, then that's pretty much my main points about Akurra. So please check it out. Thank you, Jason and Craig, for your wonderful demo. Check out their Kickstarter. It's live by the time you're listening to this. Akurra.
So I guess that brings us to the next game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kenny and Andres got a little spoiler ahead of it today because I was like
spooky.
just trying to get their opinion on what game to present. Unfortunately, we don't have another host presenting one this time, but next week or not next week, next episode, perhaps we will. And this week's game is Happy's Humble Burger Barn.
Cam, you're gonna like this one.
Happy's Humble. Okay. Burgles.
Burger
Burgles.
Burgles. Oh man.
Keep going. What is this game about?
It is a rather short, free-to-play, fast food horror simulator.
Oh my god.
Developed by the Scythe dev team. They were founded in 2017, and this is pretty fun. They focus on developing kind of immersive games, indie games, obviously, that they have an experimental pipeline where those games just have one core feature. But this one actually falls under their other games, which is that they all take place within the Scythe Saga universe.
What?
So if you go into their earlier games, apparently you can learn more about the story and the backstory of this burger chain in some way.
Oh.
It's apparently it recurs like as a location. This can be found on scythedevteam.itch.io/happys-humble-burger-barn. You can also check out the team on scythedevteam.com, or you can follow them on Twitter at @dev_scythe. The bonus that I wanted to give for Kenny, especially because you mentioned the music, if you give $3.50 to these developers, you can download the soundtrack. So Kenny, you can have that music for Happy's Humble Burger Barn playing whenever you want.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's all I got for you.
And that sound means that we're moving on to indie news. But I have one story for you today. And I'll just kind of go through that really quickly with you guys. Terraria has been on the market for probably about 10 years now. And it has maintained a huge player base since its initial start. Actually, they have a concurrent player base of about 500,000 daily.
Wow.
And they just released their final update, according to the developers, called Journey's End. And
cool.
It adds a huge amount of content to the game, really kind of polishes it up, finishes it off. A lot of players are really excited about this. They've actually gotten 10,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews in the last 2 days.
Wow.
So everybody's super excited about it. I'll just kind of go through some of the changes. If you've played it before, then you're probably going to be extremely happy. If you haven't, it's a great time to jump in. It's only $10 on Steam right now. But some of the things that they've changed is as follows. There's a new journey mode, which is the big reason why they call it Journey's End. It kind of gives the player God mode in a sense. They have full control over things like weather, enemy difficulty. They can duplicate their items. It really just kind of gives them like creator control, so that you can make the game however you want to play it. Other than that, they've added some quality of life features. Something that was really popular was people trying to keep track of all of the different enemies that they face, so that they could be aware of like what the strategies were and the health pools and how to kind of combat some of them. Now there's actually a full bestiary in the game that'll keep track of all of that information for you, so you don't have to spend a large amount of time on the wiki or trying to Google it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Nice.
Yeah. They've also added a feature which I think I'm going to appreciate because I do want to go back in and play it. If you have the appropriate equipment in your bag, you no longer have to destroy a block and then replace it. You can just simply replace it. It does both actions at the same time. Literally cuts the amount of time for building things in half. So it's going to be very helpful. They've also added about 1,000 new items to the game, improved some of the bosses, added a lot of new bosses. They've actually done a full fishing update, so now fishing has a little bit of a different mechanic. But overall, it's just a huge amount of changes. I think their patch notes log was like 45 pages long.
Whoa.
It was insane.
Wow.
But, you know, with over, I think Steam's data has like over 20 million people who've purchased the game. It's got a huge following, and it's definitely a great time to check it out. And it's indie, so fits perfectly.
Nice. Yeah, I don't remember why, but I never got into it when it first came out, but I'm definitely willing to give it another go. It's a great game.
I remember when we so I played it from like day one basically. Also like Minecraft, retro. Let's go. I'm a OG here.
Yeah.
It didn't have like the end game content it has now, and then when they added that whole new you destroy the wall of flesh, and then the whole world changes. That was all like brand new. I think like update 1.1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I think you got into it. Because remember, you and I we spent like an entire day just trying to build a surface tunnel basically for safety of traveling across the entire world.
Oh yeah.
But now if you can replace blocks instantly, that's going to be so much faster.
It should make it a lot faster. Yeah. I think a lot of the player base originally came from like Minecraft, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Starbound, but it kind of like was the competing game with Terraria for a little while there.
Yeah, Cam, you got that too, didn't you?
Yep, and they are different for sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Terraria has just had this like lasting effect where you can just jump in, grab a new seed, start fresh. It's just so much fun.
So, as somebody who's never played the game before, really, and like
I have the perfect description for you, actually, Andres.
Okay.
It's the community game, but Minecraft.
Oh, like the game from the episode of Community where they're in a video game?
Yep, it's pretty much
hilarious.
exactly that, like that art style, that same side-scroller thing, that same kind of building thing. Yeah. Obviously, way less complex than Community makes it, but still like pretty like insane as far as like monster battles and like the things you like magic in the game, and there's a lot of stuff that you can really do in the game. I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, I think if you've never played it before, the first thing that kind of struck me when I started playing it was that my imagination was very limited, because as I started to realize like what the game actually would be able to handle and what it had capabilities for, I was like, oh my god, I never would have thought of doing that.
Oh yeah, especially when you start to get wiring into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
can you give an example?
Yeah, God.
One thing I used to do. So an easy wiring thing to do is just make traps. And it's all for farming items and stuff. So you can't just kill them through man-made traps. You have to actually be there and hit them, just like Minecraft do it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a monster comes in, spawns, falls in the pit, is just enough to be damaged so it doesn't die, and then you walk up and hit him. Like basic stuff.
It's almost like when you first find out like what redstone dust actually does in Minecraft, and then you can be like, oh my god, there's this whole new world of opportunities.
Gotcha.
I've played a game very similar in style and play to Terraria, so I'm told, but I've never actually picked it up myself. I've wanted to, but this is probably the thing that's most compelling, is now that they've got this final update out.
Yeah.
Well, and it should be a lot easier too, because with the introduction of the journey mode, if you are somebody who, maybe the original play style is a little bit more difficult, you're looking for a casual experience, you can really tweak the game settings out so that you don't have to worry as much about the combat aspects, and you can just play with the creation. Yeah, basically.
I think my favorite thing though is they're going to add mod support.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I completely missed on that one. Yeah, so the mod support is going to be huge. The community is going to probably grow just from that alone. I mean, what will end up happening is, even if the developers decide they don't want to do anything else with this, the community is just going to build on it.
Yeah, it's like was the saving grace for Minecraft. It's just their ability to give it to the community and just keep going.
Yeah, and Minecraft mods are insane. Some of the stuff that you can do in it now, so I can only imagine what they're going to end up doing with Terraria.
Some of the Minecraft mods that I've played, I'm like, I would rather play that than the base game.
And I'm sure that it'll get to a point with Terraria where that's kind of the same feeling.
That's what I was going to say, is like, I love that, especially if it's the last major update, there's a good chance for like these mods to carry on permanently, rather than like, sometimes major updates can break mods, and that kind of ruins the support a little bit, at least for a little while. So I like that with a final version, hopefully the larger mods won't need to be updated, like in terms of bug fixes, as frequently.
Yeah, and the last thing that I wanted to add to this was it seems like the company has kind of added a large amount of content into this final patch that they've really not made explicitly accessible, so they've just kind of hinted towards it. So this is going to be one of those things where a lot of the community is going to be basically treasure hunting for like things that the developers have hidden in the game. Like one example real quick is that they've mentioned that if you were to fish during a blood moon, something specific will happen. Now that's very obvious as to like what you have to do to accomplish the task, but who knows how many other things they may have hidden in this update.
That's awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Do you guys think
Touche,
it's a
Terraria.
game fun to play by yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it does have its benefits of playing with other players, but like, it's a nice game once you get used to how to kind of keep yourself alive, just to build on.
I think, Andres, especially if you pick it up, I will play with you.
Yeah.
I
We'll get a
already
QWERTY community.
own it, and I
Yeah,
played
QWERTY
like a
community.
minute. But yeah, I would love to.
All right, let's do it.
QWERTY Terraria.
Yeah,
QWERTY
we'll stream it.
Terraria.
I might be the only one here that does not own it.
Well, get it.
Maybe.
Indie Book Club, go.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for you for Terraria.
Yeah, guys. So that was cool, like about Terraria. But have you heard of what Humble Bundle is doing?
No, tell us.
Oh,
Yeah, wow. That sounds really interesting, Cam.
Yeah.
Enthralled.
This is something that has me on the edge of my seat. Go on.
Shut up. Well, Humble Bundle has decided to rebrand their publishing, I guess. Is it their publishing side of the games? So they decided to rebrand it from Humble Bundle Presents to Humble Games, which is where they can release games and all that jazz. And just some of their lists, because of this, I am not organized. They are having a huge sale for a lot of these games. Some of these that I know we've talked about: Wizard of Legend,
Ooh.
Hat in Time.
Ooh.
Yeah, A Hat in Time. That's some of the
Hat
good
in
ones.
Time.
Some of the games I would really like to get: Void Bastards. All this is on sale, by the way. Slay the Spire, Kenny, which I think I gave to you for free, and I know you haven't played. Temtem. Yeah, so like I would totally recommend it. They're having these like big sale on all these games that have yet to come because they're just doing a rebranding. There's actually a bunch of sales that's going on throughout the month, so me talking about it here is not a big deal.
I have no Slay the Spire in my Steam account. Thank you very much.
Oh, you obviously never accepted the thing. Anyway.
Yeah, Kenny, you're an even worse person than you thought, is all that means.
Might as well just send it to me. I'll actually appreciate it.
Oh, that's
I've
good.
never seen this game in my life.
Yeah, I would say like, so I don't know if you guys know this right now, Epic's Game Store is currently on a huge sale as well.
Oh.
And they're on sale to the end of till June 11th, I think, and they're starting it off with GTA 5 for free. So
Which I got and played
yeah,
online
not indie,
yesterday.
Not indie.
not indie, but they have a lot of great indie games available, such as I think it's just like Astro Corrupt's game. They have Outward, which I know I've talked about. It's 70% off. It's like a kind of like RPG style game. They have Ashen, which if I really actually bought already because it was on sale, and it's a Souls-like game. So it has that like stamina-based combat. You have to like deal with all like the hard enemies, but it's like in a unique kind of like almost shell-shaded but not art style.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I really have to talk about the Humble Games. I'm just talking about all their big sales because they're rebranding themselves. To get into the more PC heavy side, I want to talk about some new rumors for the NVIDIA 3000 series.
Ooh.
So if you don't know, like Xbox Series X, PS5, and all that stuff, they have like these next gen graphics they're already going to be better than current PC hardware out there right now, right? I don't know if you know, but computing power is usually measured in flops, and Xbox X, whatever they're calling it, is currently confirmed to be about 13 teraflops, right? That's a lot.
Flops?
Teraflops. It's flops. Yeah. All right, so 13
We
teraflops.
full circle
to put
back
that
to floppy
into
disk.
perspective, the RTX 2080 Ti is just a little above that.
So wait, real quick. If you're swapping out your hard drive and it's like 10 teraflops or whatever, and you're swapping out for a new hard drive, would that be a flip-flop?
Well, Kenny.
But
Anyway.
I personally didn't.
Too bad your
really
hard drive doesn't do any floppage.
Yeah, Kenny. Jesus.
I don't
That's
totally follow
up
what
for
you're
the-
saying about flops, though.
It's just a unit of measurement for its computing
it's
power.
first grade, Andres.
Oh,
I flop,
Flopology?
me flop. Yeah.
It's literally just how they
Flopology.
measure things. It's how many triangles they can stick into the screen, okay?
okay. I do understand that because I watched the Epic Games. What was it? Unity. Demo.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah.
So
have you
many
seen any of the
triangles.
stuff with that? So I
That
was
was
gonna say
really
yeah.
the triangles fitting in the screen thing because it's on both sides. So there's the hardware restrictions, but then there's also the software restrictions, and the software engine stuff is getting insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this
that demo was
hardware
insane.
is the thing to match it. The Xbox can already deal with that. So it's like I said, I meant to say 12 flops, and the NVIDIA 2080 Ti does 13 teraflops.
Yeah.
Still a
So
shit
the-
ton, let me tell you. You don't need
Yeah.
more than that right now.
The
But,
important message there is buy a computer, not a console.
Yeah,
PC
pretty much.
PC Master
Yeah.
Race.
PC
Especially be-
mustard race.
Especially because these new 3000 series, they're in the range of 21 teraflops, is what it's saying. And there's also
Wow.
leaked images of a GPU from NVIDIA that goes up to 30. So I don't even...
What is a leaked image?
they're
look
just
like
showing
of that?
specs of a not a
Okay.
review. It's just
I just
these
imagined
things.
here's a computer that can go up to 130 teraflops. It's well, how do I know?
All right,
how do you know?
Who wants to help me use my stimulus check to build a computer?
I will.
You need more.
Fair.
You need 2 stimulus checks.
True. Fair.
Well, just wait for if it passes through the Senate. Then
True.
you might get a second one.
Yeah.
Who wants to help me start building a fucking computer?
I
I need a
love
better computer.
theoretically building computers.
I'm so sick of this computer. It's such a dumb brick. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Don't you boot back up?
Yeah, it's because you got an Apple.
Oh, snap.
No, I'm not talking about the Mac. I'm talking about my actual PC.
Oh, okay. It's because you have a PC.
If you could though, go with AMD, that would be phenomenal.
AMD is
Damn,
definitely
me?
cheaper.
Hmm.
I have a 2080 in mine right now, and the only thing that gives me is the ray tracing, which I've barely ever seen.
Have
any
you done
games.
it in Minecraft yet?
No.
But they figured out how to do software ray tracing, so now it's kind of eh.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that, and then the article was so everyone who got the 2080 is kind of
But
We'll see what gets adopted by the community of developers, but yeah, I mean, you would expect that a lot of that kind of stuff should be able to be handled on the software side. So
right.
Yeah. I just didn't
my
want to
thing
get
is
a 1080 was more expensive for some reason.
my thing is
Thank
more
you,
like
Bitcoin.
the AMD is cheaper, and a lot of monitors are cheaper for FreeSync versus the G-Sync and everything, and compatible AMD. It works.
Yeah.
I also personally own shares of AMD, so I'm really pushing this right now.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had both. I have both. It's okay.
full disclosure, Qwertycast.
Made
So,
a
hey,
lot,
guys,
of,
real
made
quick,
a lot of money.
I made quite a lot because I invested in it 2 years ago, and it's more than doubled. But by quite a lot, I mean, double what I invested, which was $50. So, not a lot of real money. But percentage wise, I've made out like a bandit.
What was that you were gonna say, Steve?
Oh, I was just going to say real quick before we jump out of the segment, there was one comment that I wanted to make on the previous section, which was the Humble Games rebranding.
Yeah.
If you are a game developer and you're listening to this podcast, you may want to look at them as a publishing company, because one of the biggest things that they've implemented is they actually are using a variety of compensation packages. So whereas if you were to go with most publishers, they have like one contract type, Humble Games is actually modifying their contract based on the games and the communication with them, so you can actually work out a deal instead of just, this is what we offer, take it or leave it.
Whoa.
Yeah, and if you do decide to go with Humble Bundle, you should totally mention us so that maybe they'll sponsor us or something.
I'm glad that you said that, because if you didn't, I was going to be like, yeah, tell them we sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, why not? It helps them, helps us.
And that's all I have for Cam's discussion. That's what I'm calling it today, guys.
Beautiful. So we'll just smoothly transition right into what's up with us, guys. But before we get into our specific personal lives or whatever we want to talk about, I do want to give a quick shout out to the game Davigo, which Cam, Andres, and I played on our Twitch, which is a VR versus PC game where the VR player is a giant trying to kill the PC players, which have rockets and cannons and bombs. And it was a hell of a lot of fun.
David versus Goliath story.
Yes.
With rockets.
And bombs.
It's in its alpha stages right now, but you should definitely keep your eye out for this game, and we're going to try to reach out to the developers and talk more about that game with them. So you should also keep an eye out for that if you want to know more.
Very similar to the way that we're going to try to do that, we did a different interview separate from the podcast, about 30 minutes long, for the game Lockdown by Qwertycastmail Studios. That is now live on Steam. Our discussion is live on all of our regular podcast channels, and our gameplay for Davigo and Lockdown is available on our Twitch. Check it out. I think we're posting a lot more of the game stuff on Twitch, whereas the YouTube has been pretty solidly just games that we discuss here on the full podcast episode.
Indeed. So what's up with everyone else? How's everyone doing?
Oh,
my past 2 weeks have been a roller coaster.
Yeah. Are you all like okay now?
For now, I mean, applying for the unemployments, and we'll see where things are in like a few months with everything. And that's.
Sorry, 1 second. My cat has plastic. Be right back. But keep talking. Keep talking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So applied for that on Friday, same day that I was officially furloughed. And the weirdest part about that, I'll just share this experience, was that typically we're not supposed to stop working until about 6:30, like as the bare minimum for the division that I work for. And I think around 6 o'clock, I went to go check something on like our backstage, where all of our applications live, where we can access everything just through one sign-in, and everything was locked. I was locked out of everything. And all communications have now been transferred to, if anybody reaches out to me, they're not allowed to reach out to me for anything work-related, whether that's via text, phone, email. And so that was like a really weird experience, but also really relieving for a little bit, because there's going to be very few times, this probably won't ever happen again, like what we're going through, like in our lifetimes. It hopefully certainly won't happen again, but like it probably will not happen again where you're getting this much help from the government. So in addition to unemployment, you get like more money.
Yeah.
So
that's like, or maybe it will happen and we will get more help because, I don't know, we'll change the government.
No, that sounds unlikely.
I can be optimistic.
I will say
otherwise, though, I'm doing good.
I will say they are adopting, because I hear some things from the military. That it's like they sent out a letter for everyone because anyone could read it. It's like this is the world we are living in now. We can't expect to hope for the future that this won't be here. This is just what it is now, so we need to adapt to this.
Right on.
How long did it take, like, back in the day when people didn't have, like, the plague, for example? How long did that take to go away officially? That took years.
Right.
You know, that was, like, just here one day, and then people died a lot, and then...
Well, that's also without, like, we have access to the internet and instant communication and,
Yeah.
you know,
Like,
more
but I
advanced
think
most
technology.
recently, how long did the Spanish flu last?
Look, lasted 2 years from 1918 to 1919.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was the second resurgence of it is what killed the most people. So that's what you gotta be careful of.
But the thing that you got to realize is that with the Spanish flu, a third of the world's population was infected with it. And we're not near that rate yet because most countries have taken very good action to prevent that from occurring. So it is a huge pandemic. Don't take away from it at all. But we are at least adapting the way that we handle these situations on a world basis. And hopefully we'll be able to handle it even better in the future.
That was also my kind of like global question is, are we handling this better than we did the Spanish flu?
Better than
because
that,
of
but
the
not
internet.
the best.
Right.
Yeah, could always be better.
Yeah, for sure.
So how's everybody else doing? What's new? What's going on that's not quarantine related, or is but not specifically pandemic death related?
Well, as I was talking about the Epic Game Store sales, Control is like 50 or 60% off right now. Totally recommend it, but also that means you get a coupon because they love doing that too. So I got the DLCs finally for that, as well as Ashen and some other game I forget.
Oh, nice.
So I've been playing that, and I love it.
I might finally buy Wander Song because it's 50% off on Humble right now.
What is Wander Song?
That is a game developed by Greg from Drexel. And he developed another game, Coin Crypt, I want to say, which was phenomenal. But this is like a really cool game where you basically like the direction of your joystick is like the note that you're seeing, and depending on like the combination that you put in, it like solves certain puzzles. I believe it's side scrolling.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's just check out the trailer for it.
Kenny, I think that it's available on Xbox Game Pass as well.
Oh, word.
Nice.
Sorry, Andres. Keep going.
No, I was just gonna say that the developer's Dumb and Fat Games.
Oh, yes.
That's great.
Dumb and Fat Games. That's funny.
But yeah, no, there's what else have I been? Oh, I'm gonna start a TV show called I think a lot of people have probably seen the movie, but Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah,
I wanna see the show.
I'm excited.
It's
about
on
it.
TN. Yeah, they're
there's a
coming out with the show. It's airing tonight.
It's from
actually,
the same director, I think, or something, right?
I
the
think
same creator.
He's executive producing it. He's not like I haven't seen him as director on any of the episodes. I did like a quick scan. But I'm hoping for this show to be really good and like deep because my group of coworkers and I who talk on like Monday mornings for Westworld, we were like, we wanted a new show to talk about and like still keep up our Monday morning meetings because it's all virtual. So I elected Snowpiercer because I know that's the director's really famous. I can't remember his name. I'm gonna butcher it, but he's the guy who did Parasite and like
cool,
and a lot of those really really famous movies, those societal thrillers.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. I did really enjoy the movie, despite some of its flaws.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix, the movie, and the show's on TNT.
Speaking of keeping up virtually through video chats
With the Kardashians.
No. I've been experiencing something really interesting where being kind of really into the whole film and movie and TV industry, people have been premiering their their movies or whatever, like online, or festivals have been hosting like online Zoom meetings, and they'll either show the movie through Zoom, or one way that I've seen someone else do it is they sent a Vimeo link and be like, okay, we'll meet back up in like 15 minutes and talk about what we saw or whatever, and go over awards. And it's been really interesting how people have coped with that, and I just thought that'd be interesting to share.
That is interesting. Yeah, I totally didn't even think about how festivals are handling this. There's so many types of festivals, conventions, all that stuff. I have been joining a lot of virtual conferences, IT conferences for work, because we're trying to fill our time. So I joined a virtual conference for Amazon Workspace that normally would be taking place in like Los Angeles, and it's like a global conference, but due to the nature of things, it was free and available online. And they had like a really good interactive space where you could watch the live events and also do a lot of stuff that kind of taught you like their software, their stuff. But
right.
That's really
just
cool.
One
I think now is a great time for people to jump back into like the continued education, especially with the availability of online courses and conventions, and there's a lot of free opportunities just through YouTube nowadays.
Yeah,
it's a great time to learn.
Yeah. I'm still trying to keep up on Spanish, though. I finally broke my 24-day streak
Nice.
last night, but.
Can you give us a sentence in Spanish now?
No.
Hola, señora. Mi pene es de muy pequeño.
Jesus.
Well done, Kim.
Go ahead and translate that. Put that in the comments.
You need to buy larger pasta.
I didn't. Yeah.
So like I've been doing that and like trying to watch some TV and movies, but I haven't really found anything to super hold my interest. I just watched the last season of Silicon Valley, binged that in like one night. That was pretty good. Oh,
nice. Yeah, I started watching that again as well.
And then now with all of this extra free time, I think that I'll be able to play some more games, which will be good, and maybe even stream. Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try. Don't hold me to this just yet, but I'm gonna try to do once a week.
All right, everyone, comment if you want to hold Dave to streaming every week.
Yeah,
And
and subscribe if you're gonna be mad if he doesn't stream once a week.
That'll trick him.
And honestly, I mean, comment if you can't stand me, you don't want me to stream at all, because that'll probably give me more motivation to do it.
Yes, fueled by hatred.
Beautiful. I've been getting more sun, honestly, than I normally do.
I'm so tan. I haven't been this tan in like 3 years, at least.
Wow. Yeah, I'm typically pretty introvert, but I'm I'm getting kind of to my limit, and I'm just like finding myself like be like, you know what, I need to go for a walk and just outside. And
dude,
it's been really nice actually.
Last week I did like 20,000 step walks, roughly.
Wow.
20,000 steps.
Do you not have like a face mask tan line?
Oh, I don't wear a face mask if I'm just out walking, like in my neighborhood around the block a bunch of times. I'll go into the street to avoid people, or go on the other side of the street and do that stuff. If I'm not going into a business, I'm not wearing a face mask usually. And if I'm walking to a business, I'll put it on like before I get to their storefront.
Yeah. I'm noticing it's 50-50, honestly, in Philly. And I even went on a 3-hour hike yesterday, and in the hiking trails, it was 50-50 as well, of people wearing masks.
I'm just like, I can't breathe inside of a mask, and I have to wear glasses, and I can't breathe without them fogging my glasses up.
Oh, so you get a little metal thing and stick it in there so it pinches it down.
That sounds like something that I should be given by the government for my issues.
If the government had any.
I'm not paying for that. The government
Well,
has to give me that metal
it isn't
piece.
a lot of masks already.
The paperclip.
It's not in mine. All right.
Well, your mask sucks.
I don't know where they were
I don't know what to tell
made,
you.
but Shona's mother sent them to us. So if they were homemade, you're gonna offend at least one person here.
Your mask is amazing, I'm sure. It just has one flaw, which doesn't necessarily mean it sucks. It just, there's always room for improvement, even in people.
And if you made Dave's mask and you're listening, like, comment, and subscribe.
No, I mean, it's all good. It's like it's just a minor inconvenience, and that's why I don't like to wear the mask when I'm just outside breathing in. I mean, that mask's not going to protect me from whatever else is in LA anyway. So
Yeah, but it makes more sense too in Philly just because it's a lot more claustrophobic. Like I'd imagine in New York, I bet more people are maybe wearing masks on the street.
Hopefully.
oh yeah, I guess like out here, especially like in the exact area that I live in, it's a little bit more spread. Like so there's like we've got a little bit of a yard, and like we can just sit out front on our porch, and I'm not gonna put a mask
nice.
on sitting out front on my porch. That would make it really hard to smoke.
Fair. Very fair. I've actually been doing something interesting that I hadn't been doing before. And that is my roommates and I have started a thing where we do every other week called Free Create. And we just get together for like 2 hours, and one of us hosts kind of the session, and it's the whole point is just to get like creative juices flowing and to stay creative. And for example, it'll like sometimes starts out with like some stretches or like some kind of bodily movement to get yourself warmed up, get blood flowing. And then like last Saturday we did a thing where we would think of a word that we wanted to convey, whether we spoke it or acted it out or drew it, and then we would show it to the person next to us, and they would come up with a word that they think we're conveying. And then at the end we would all have like a list of words, and we would have to make a story with that list of words. And that was just a fun little thing that we've started doing now.
That does sound like actually a really good time. What
Yeah,
if
that's
you're not
really
creative
cute.
at all? Because
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, you just do what you can. And, like, for example, it's like convey, like, for example, I thought of the word power, and I wanted to try to convey power. And so I, like, ended up, I didn't give it much thought. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I just screamed. And both the people sitting next to me, they like, jumped because they weren't expecting me to scream. And then immediately my roommate just wrote down jarring. And I thought that was a really interesting way to look at it. Just don't hold back and just create, whether you think it's right or not.
cool.
Why are you scaring
That's
people?
improv for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of improv, if you have not watched the Middleditch and Schwartz on Netflix, I very strongly recommend it. Not
Yeah,
super
that
into
was
watching
fun.
live improv, but that was phenomenal. It was so funny.
I totally agree. I loved the first episode especially.
The third episode was probably my favorite.
Oh yeah,
I
nice.
gotta check it out.
Please.
Has anyone been doing anything with their hands, creative wise?
Oh, okay. I was
Or
like,
Yeah, so
I clarified.
I was gonna say because with all the like time on the weekends that I just need to kind of like get out and do something. We've been making home improvements, so I've got
Nice.
We painted our basement. We completely dug out the front garden and like right in front of our porch, and we replanted it all this weekend.
Oh wow.
Damn.
We planted
Whoa.
we're planning on ripping up the rugs, throwing in some vinyl, and then Jody, my girlfriend, has an office up on the second floor that we really haven't like decked out yet. So we're gonna try and get it a little bit more cozy for her. Get it set up as like a room that she can do work, but also kind of play our Animal Crossing in. I picked out a giant 55-inch TV that I want to mount on the wall in there for her, so that she can just boot it up and play whenever she wants. But yeah, just a lot of like home improvement kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just talking about today. I was like, man, I can't wait to like have a place that I can just customize.
Yeah.
Like more, like I would love, like the place that I'm in right now has almost zero sun that comes in, and I would love to like change, like have like some kind of sunroom.
Yeah.
Don't you just hate like as a like someone who's renting? You're like, I see so much potential in like this, but I can't do anything about it. That kills me here.
Yeah, there's advantages and disadvantages, but yeah, you definitely get a little bit more creative control because it's yours. So.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything else they want to share?
No, I'm good.
You guys stay safe.
Yeah. Everyone stays safe.
Mm-hmm.
Well said, Cam. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Especially thank you to all our Patreon subscribers. If you want to interact with us more, Patreon is a good way to get more exclusive access with us, including Discord benefits, free entries into all future raffles, exclusive content, and more. Thank you to our audio mixer and musical master, Gary, of course. Everyone give him a round of applause. Whee!
Yay! Everyone might clap.
If you want to talk to us and or support us, we're also on Twitter at Qwerty_cast. You can find us on Discord and Patreon, as I said. And if you want to email us, we're at Qwertycastmail@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to check out our Twitch, it is Qwertycast_podcast on Twitch. Anyone else have any outro stuff they'd like to say?
Okay.
Peace.
Qwertycast out. Yeah.